The NBI has uncovered citizenship laundering, a nationwide modus that fraudulently sells Philippine citizenship. How is the government addressing this? Good morning, I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno, and this is At the Forefront. The National Bureau of Investigation has uncovered a countrywide operation of a fraudulent birth certificate syndicate in cahoots with local civil registry offices. Who are these foreign nationals and why are they fraudulently obtaining Philippine citizenship? Does this involve espionage? And how is the government addressing this? Let's find out. We'll be speaking with NBI Director, Attorney Melvin Matibag. Good morning, Director Melvin.
Good morning, Attorney Karen, and good morning to all your viewers.
Okay, so nakakabahala itong na-discover ninyo. The NBI has uncovered what can be called citizenship laundering, where a syndicate of former and incumbent civil registry officers caused the issuance of fraudulent birth certificates to foreign nationals.
That's correct.
Can you describe to us what this modus is?
Well, it all started when our central office in Mindanao, NBI, in response to an audit done by the PSA. Nag-issue ng algorithmic audit ang PSA dun sa mga late birth registration. And on the audit, lumabas, there are about 50,000 plus na questionable yung pagkarehistro. And ito, may mga lumabas na birth certificate. They're not fake birth certificate. Totoo yung papel, the entries, except that yung mga tao, yun yung peke na Pilipino.
Peking Pilipino.
Peking Pilipino. So, kumbaga, nagkaroon sila ng entry na naging Pilipino sila, violating yung ating principle of jus soli na dapat by birth para Pilipino ka, yung by blood mo.
By blood, either yung nanay mo or yung tatay mo.
So, na-violate yung rule na yon and compromise yung 50,000 plus na atin na late registration. Pero doon sa algorithmic na audit na yan, lumabas from 2010 to 2023, 14 million mahigit yung nag-register, nag-avail ng registration. This is based on the Republic Act 33. Not Republic Act, Act 3353.
Yes, lumang
It's a
batas
1930 law.
Oo.
So, pwede yan mag-late registration ka kahit matanda ka na, gayon ka lang nagrehistro. So, we can avail of that. It can be done sa mga local civil registries natin. There are about 1,600 plus na local civil registry. So, doon pumapasok.
Okay.
So, ito nga sa Mindanao, sa North Cotabato in particular, the town of Pikit and Alusan, nandoon na-trace nila na merong mga pumasok na rehistro and most of them are Chinese nationals.
Okay, buti na rin pala nagkaroon ng audit ang PSA at bakit sila nag-audit? Ano yung nag-initiate ng audit? Is it because nagka-hearings na yung mga na-uncover natin na fake Philippine nationals? Like for example, yung naging widely known case ni Alice Guo.
Yes, kasama yan doon sa consideration. So naglabas ng memorandum circular that's 2024. So nung kinandak yung audit, yun yung lumabas. And ang isang alarming pa rito is not only yung manual na entry. Kasi ang gagawin mo dyan pagka late registration, manual entry ka, punta ka ng local civil registry mo. Then those entries na yan na ginawang manual, papasok yan doon sa digital na natin, which is managed by concessionaire, yung
Unisys?
Unisys, yeah. So doon papasok yan. Ang nangyari rito, there is only also an instance na mayroong mga status like from male, ginawang female, na-enter nila digitally na rin.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to raise kasi meron nga kayong report na incident na na-trace nyo sa Civil Registry Office ng Davao, kung saan yung tao na dating male, pinalitan lang na maging female, tapos in-upload pa doon sa National
Digital Portal
Registry System natin ng PSA. So paano natin malalaman ngayon kung yung mga if that's reliable? For example, ako, kunwari may gusto akong lalaki ako, may gusto akong pakasalan, tapos yung sa birth certificate na mapapangasawa ko nakalagay female, pero syempre kung lalaki ka na gusto mong magkapamilya, magkaanak, parang how can you rely on that birth certificate?
Not only that, no? Kasi mayroon pang isa na instance na ang nangyari, may entry ng marriage sa yung pangalan doon sa Mindanao, may identical din siya, same name na sa Pampanga naman. So,
Oo,
maraming
double-
instances yan.
double
Double
registration
registration,
naman.
double entry.
Oo.
So, we uncovered that and actually, pinakasuhan na natin sa ombudsman yung mga persons involved dito. There are several cases filed to them. At least 4 na batas yung na-violate nila rito. No? So, ang request sana namin dito, give NBN access dun sa buong 50,000.
So have you coordinated with the PSA about this?
We are making a report and probably will report it to the Security Council. No? Kasi ang isa sa recommendation namin dyan, dapat interagency ito eh. The other day, nakipag-usap ako sa intelligence group ng military natin to do this, to check this. Kasi ang daming implication nito, Attorney Karen, if you will look at it. Siguro it might appear to be a simple case na, hindi, rehistro lang naman yan eh. But that is the very essence na yung nationality natin, pagiging Pilipino natin, will be compromised. And can also be a ticket to, halimbawa, yung obligation natin with our country, let's say sa Amerika, halimbawa sa US, let's say a national, hindi lang Chinese halimbawa, from Middle East na yung pala naka-red tag sa kanila itong name na to. Pumunta ngayon dito sa isang maliit na bayan sa Mindanao at nagrehistro siya ng ibang pangalan at Pilipino na siya. And he has the resources. Meron siya, tapos gawan na rin ng mga iba pang mga dokumento and he applied for a visa sa United States. He can enter as Filipino.
Oo, makakalusot. Kasi hindi na siya red tag. Iba na yung identity niya.
Pilipino
Oo.
na yung identity niya na parang mag-establish na may negosyo rito and all, na meron din siguro makapagpasok ng tax. Not only that, kung siya Pilipino na, then he is qualified also to yung ownership
Of land in the Philippines.
And
Oo,
also to
marami
do
talagang-
business, which is restricted by our Constitution.
Yeah, oo. So for the
Diba?
businesses that should be nationalized na kailangan 60-40 owned by Filipino,
Correct.
malulusutan na rin
Malusta.
nila.
And meron na nangyari. They can enter into government services, critical government services. Pwedeng, malay mo, pumasok na sa NBI
Yeah.
or sa intelligence group natin. Or sa politika, naging mayor like Alice Guo, hindi ba?
Yeah.
Tapos, you can also manipulate. If you can upload, let's say, sa isang lugar na magpasok ka ng 50,000, that can only change the voting pattern.
Yeah,
Pwede
the
naman
voting
panalo
patterns.
ng
Oo nga
kandidato.
naman, tama.
So,
Oo.
napakaraming epekto nito. Hindi ito simple na nag-acquire lang ng citizenship. And I hope yung mga officials natin na nasa forefront niyan, na sila yung nagpa-process, dapat sana maging sensitive dito. Because we are compromising our national security in our country.
Oo.
Pati lahat na
And
walang epekto.
Since napakalaki nga ng implication, imagine, theoretically, because of this breach in our system, we can have yung mga more of Alice Guo na hindi talaga natural-born Filipino citizens that will become our public officials na bawal sa
Yes.
constitution natin kasi kailangan natural-born Filipinos, lalo na kung high officials, even Congress, Senate, President.
yeah.
So, ano ba ang naging kapalit nito? Doon sa mga nadiskubre ninyo na local civil registries na merong sindikato, ano ba yung nakukuha ng mga officials? Kasi sabi mo nga sana yung mga nasa frontline na officials natin, this would be the local civil registry offices. Sana mas maging maingat sila or isipin nila yung implications. Pero yung sa na-uncover nyo, ano ba yung kapalit na nakukuha nila?
Alam mo, nakakapanlumuto kasi yung implication, hindi commensurate dun sa nakuha ng mga taong kinasuhan natin. There will be facing at least 4 violations. A violation of Act 3353, yung old law, yung local civil registration. Violation ng Code of Professional Conduct of a Government Official, 6713. Revised Penal Code, and of course, 3019, Republic Act 3019.
Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices
Anong
Act.
iniimbestigahan namin, ang nangyari pala dito, binibigyan lang sila ng pakain, itong mga kinasuhan, bibigyan lang ng pakain, tapos ranging from 300 to 3,000 pesos lang yung bayad sa
Naku,
kanila.
napakaliit. So, ang
Binibigay.
kumikita yung sindikato.
Sindikato.
Yung mga sindikato, would you know how much they're selling this to the foreign
Well,
nationals?
we can base it dun sa mga dating naririnig natin nung may pogo pa rito, nung malaki pa yung pogo, ano, na nasa 5 million for a Chinese citizen to acquire Filipino citizenship. 5 million yung binabayad. So there's an investigation done in the Senate by Senator Rizal Tiveros. If you will recall, may mga lumutang na presyong ginagastos dyan. Ito ngayon, ganun lang, biniktima nila. Ang takeaway dito, Attorney Karen, is bakit sa Mindanao, biniktima nila yung maliliit na munisipyo na sa maliit na halagang pera, papayag na sila kasi hindi naman nila nakita siguro itong malaking implication na to.
At kawawa sila. Sila ngayon yung
Sila yung
humaharap sa mga
mananagot.
kaso.
Oo.
Oo, sila rin yung pwedeng makulong.
Kaya I'm very thankful na you raised this issue kasi I think this is something that the public should know, and more importantly, the officials of PSA and those who are involved sa yung mga local civil registry natin kasi ang laki pong kompromiso na mangyayari nito kung hindi natin po ito pipigilan. So, meron po sana kami mga recommendations dyan, Attorney Karen, para at least mapigilan, mahinto na natin at ma-reverse natin yung nangyari na ginawa nila po na yun.
And ano po ba yung karamihang nationals na nagbe-benefit from this type of syndicated scheme?
Based dun po sa initial nga namin na report, andyan po yung na-identify namin na area in North Cotabato. Actually, if not all, talagang majority po Chinese po yung nationalities. I have no personal or offense directed to the Chinese, but unfortunately, yun po yung lumabas. That is very factual po. And not only in Luzon, in Davao del Sur, there is a small municipality there, Santa Cruz, na sa ngayon po, ang findings namin nasa almost 3,000 na fake na Pilipino na totoong birth certificates, pero lahat po yan nag-avail ng late registration po under the Acta of Local Civil Registration po.
Kung ganon, na ang ginagamit dito is the late birth registration provided for by Act number 3753, how can we remedy this? Are you already talking to members of Congress to amend Act number 3753 or to completely eliminate it? But before you answer this question, we'll have to take a short break. At the Forefront, we'll be right back. Welcome back at the Forefront. We continue our conversation with NBI Director Melvin Matibag. So Director Melvin, how can we remedy this situation? Have you spoken to members of Congress to amend or completely just eliminate Act number 3753, which allows for late birth registration?
Sa NBI kasi, Attorney Karen, meron kaming legislative liaison unit dyan. So, and yung legal department namin, we're preparing a proposed bill for the amendment kung paano natin naayusin yun. One of the highlight nung sa gusto namin i-propose is to centralize the late birth registration and to give more requirements para mas mahigpit tayo at mas mapoprocess natin. So, hindi pa naman kami nakapag-usap sa leadership, but I'm talking to my wife. You know, she's a member of the House of Representatives. Sabi ko, baka gusto mong ikaw isa sa mag-sponsor, mag-author nitong bill na to.
Yeah.
Because it will really benefit the entire country and will address the issue of national security. I'm more concerned talaga, Attorney Karen, dun sa national security angle. It's like, we know our relationship to China, hindi naman natin maikakailayan. And can you just imagine if we have that 50,000 kung lahat yan is...
and that might be just the tip of the iceberg. Kasi
that's right.
We had a member of the Armed Forces of the Philippines here at the Forefront. At yung issue naman na tinalakay niya ay yung issue ng espionage. Yung mga na-uncover nila na ma-infiltrate na sa government natin that actually occupy positions in government, including DFA and then within the AFP, na spy pala for China. So, kung yun, Filipino spying for China, what more yung nationals talaga that are actually
that's exactly our point,
government
Attorney
service,
Karen.
no?
Kasi kung halimbawa kahapon, Chinese citizenship or any other citizenship, let's say isa sa mga group yung sa Middle East na mga terrorists, di ba? Yesterday, iba yung nationality na, but tomorrow, Pilipino na sila. Then they can avail of all the benefits of being a Filipino na nakakatakot talaga.
So, kung mag-grant ng access sa inyo ang PSA, will you do a forensic examination of the digital entries in our National Civil Registry?
That's exactly what we are going to request, and in fact, we have already feelers sent to them na gusto namin gawin yon. But more so is we want to come out with an interagency task force. Hindi po namin kaya na kami lang po sa NBI. Weber Monday to do that. But we will seek help of other agencies, the Bureau of Immigration probably, then PSA, siyempre, unang-una na, then the NICA, National Intelligence natin, and all the agencies na pwede. So, we'll be coming up with the report. I will submit it to our executive secretary so that it can be discussed on a higher level to address this issue. But what I did first is to talk dun sa mga ibang agencies so that magkaroon kami ng united position on this matter.
And they're receptive to that interagency task force.
Nakakatuwa naman po kasi we all are in the same page na yun yung direction po na nakikita natin po dito.
Nakausap mo na ba si President Bongbong Marcos about this issue?
Well, hindi pa nga po, pero may directive naman po siya sa akin when I assume. Ito kasama sa directive niya na ginagawa po natin. That's why we coming out with a formal report, i-course to natin kay ES, papunta po kay Presidente po. And I'm sure the President will immediately act on it dahil whatever we're doing here is under his guidance and directive, even from the start po that I assume office.
So the interagency task force would be pursuant to an executive order of the President?
Yun po sana yung mas maganda para po medyo mas may
coming from
yung
the
batas
top
po.
talaga.
Opo, yun po yun sana.
Fingerprint examinations by the NBI of mining executive Joseph C. showed that his fingerprints match those of Chinese national Chen Zhongzhen. Last February, the Court of Appeals issued a decision which upheld the ruling of the Taguig City Regional Trial Court that granted the issuance of a writ of habeas corpus for Joseph C. Is he still detained?
I have to check that information, Attorney Karen, if she is still detained. There are things kasi na pag kasi binigyan kami ng order, babalidate pa rin namin yan sa court. But pag wala na kaming choice, we have to release. There is one instance nga, there is a Korean national, he was granted the status of a refugee and a stateless person. So it happened ng mag-Holy Week, that just was last week. So the order was sent through an email ng hapon Pero I understand, the Holy Wednesday, it's half day. So sabi ko, nung tinanong ako, wag natin munang i-release. Let's ask the court and also inform the Korean Embassy of the matter para ma-check natin. So if there's an objection, tapos sabi ko, per hour on Monday, we have to release kung walang objection or anything. Kasi alam mo naman, arbitrary detention naman ang maharapin ng mga tao natin.
Pagka hindi nyo rin-release,
yeah, so there is the entire process and I'm sure you understand that as a lawyer as well. So, ganun yung ginagawa namin. But we do everything, all the safeguards, all the coordinations before we release, no? So we go back to that issue. Naalala mo pala, baka nakalimutan natin yung sa Batangas ngayon, yung Herrera, di ba?
Yes, na Chinese national din pala. So, at pagka ganito, so for example, let's just go back to that Korean national. In the end, were you authorized to release him? Wala kayong nahanap na irregularities?
Ni-release namin, but the following day, I got a visit from the Consul General na sabi they want to appeal it. So I told them, we inform immediately your embassy para ma-address din nyo yan. So sabi nila, pwede po pagka na-approve yung aming hanapin nyo ulit, ulihin nyo ulit.
Yung pala, bakit fugitive from justice ba in Korea?
Yun yung claim nila, that he has a pending case of, I think, financial case sa Korea. There are a lot of Korean nationals na nandito sa atin na we are collaborating with the Korean Embassy to address that issue.
You mentioned kanina na karamihan nitong nag-a-avail of themselves of the fraudulent birth certificate registrations tend to be Chinese nationals. Yes. Ano pa yung mga ibang nahanap ninyo in na smaller percentage na kumukuha rin ng fake birth certificates from the Philippines?
Yeah. If you may allow me, address ko lang kung ba't Chinese kasi napag-aralan namin You remember there's Pogo, no? Ang laki ng Pogo. And sino ba yung identified natin talaga na nationals na operator ng Pogo? Chinese, di ba? Then yung mga related na mga cases pa dyan, yung human trafficking, Chinese din yung nakikita natin. Then drugs, mapasok din from Chinese, no? Again, no offense directed to the Chinese, but yun yung facts yun yung lumalabas talaga, no? So, napakalaki ng percentage. Dito lang sa naka-uncover na, if not all, mga 90% nga yan Tapos there are few Koreans, may Indians, meron ding galing ng Middle East, ganyan. Pero konti lang talaga. So, dun yung very alarming. And even the cases that's coming out na ang issue is yung nationality is always Chinese talaga palagi. You have the Herrera, we have Alice Guo, the one that you mentioned, yung na nasa Court of Appeal. So, yun yung ating mga binabantayan talaga dyan. And I think it's about time that now I understand, and I have to say it, na tama yung naging direction ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos when he stopped Pogo.
Completely banned
Completely
it.
na
Oo.
in-stop niya. Kasi I think siguro, whether consciously or nakita ni Presidente itong issue na to eh. Kasi related din to, Attorney Karen, yung sa Bataan. Yung lumabas dun sa testimony kahapon ni Ramil Madriaga na land grabbing sa Maribeles, Bataan, that's when we're investigating it. And
So are you also investigating Attorney Harry Roque? Kasi na-mention ni Madriaga
Yes.
si Attorney Harry Roque.
Even before niya minention, there's already a complaint ng 17 farmers, ang involved Chinese din. And ang hinahanap namin na tao is the incorporator of First Bataan, is Pilipino na yung pangalan, Danny Caro, which there's very suspicion na ito, Chinese din, na nakakuha rin ng birth certificate. If you will look at it, parang connected yata lahat. That's why I go back to saying na the decision of President Bongbong Marcos to stop Pogo is one of the best decision na ginawa niya, protecting the national interest of our country.
Si Cassandra Leong, naalala ko tuloy kasi because of the Pogo operations and he was also linked to Attorney Harry Roque as supposedly counsel niya si Attorney Harry Roque. Pero meron na ba kayong leads as to the whereabouts of Cassandra Leong?
We're looking to the leads. It's good that you mentioned that because I recall may binanggit siya na Pogo operator doon, yung Lucky 999 ba yun?
Sa Pampanga.
Pampanga. Ang incorporator din, one of the incorporators is Danny Caro, who is the primary incorporator of First Bataan na yung allegation ng farmers na nag-land grab doon sa Maribeles.
So link din
Lucky
pala
Beach.
sila.
Andun doon yung link.
Oo, kasi alam ko
Andun
yung sa
link.
Pampanga, may link din siya sa, nahanap silang link sa isang Pogo. I'm trying to remember kung saan yung, eventually nung nahanap nila sa ibang probinsya na, galing din naman doon sa Pampanga.
Yun yung
So
link.
parang, it's really a network,
Yeah,
no?
and remember, may pinabanggit ako sa iyo, birth certificate bumangga doon sa Pampanga at sa Mindanao. So nakita namin yung link and the pattern that we really have to call for investigation on this matter.
And former Governor Mandanas, meron ba kayong investigation related to him? Because he, I think, also availed himself of this late birth registration.
Well, wala pa naman. Wala pang reklamo. Ang tinitingnan namin talaga dito, yung nangyari dyan sa North Cotabato and Davao del Sur. Mindanao area talaga yan. Then, yung pasok na nga yung link na puro Pilipino na yung pangalan dun sa mga incorporators nitong malalaking kumpanya who is engaged in Pogo. And tapos yung land grabbing nga, may mga klowa to noon itong niland grab na to. Tapos ang kwento nito nga, Attorney Karen, kaya base doon sa mga farmers na nagreklamo, nagrarally sila ron, hinarap sila ng mga blue guards. Ito naman, is yet to be validated. May mga Chinese militia na nagtitraining doon. At saka yung mga chismis doon na narinig nyo, may nakitang submarine sa Maribeles. This is the area. This is Lucky Beach, itong area na to. So, yung Pogo, yung parang pinakang-cover dito.
Okay. And lastly, since we're out of time already, may leads na ba kayo as to the whereabouts of Atong Ang?
Yung kay Atong Ang, I dedicated a team, pero I don't want to mention what they're doing at kung saan because I don't want to preempt. I think eventually he will come out. May mga nagpaparating kasi sa amin ng information. Ang tinatanong lagi yung reward. Kung talaga daw 20 million daw yung reward.
So, interesado sa reward.
No, actually, totoo yun. May mga nagsasabi, baka pag naging 50 million, mahanap nila. So, it looks like a joke, pero baka ibig sabihin, hindi enough data yung reward na yun. No? So we have informations naman na sinasabi nga nandito pa sa Pilipinas. But of course, we are not removing the possibility of he going out of the country already. Alam mo naman yung Pilipinas, ang daming point of entries and exits. Kahit magbangka ka lang, makakalabas ka na ng bansa natin. Just like what happened to, again, Alice Guo, di ba? It's a popular example, Attorney Karen.
Okay, thank you so much, Director Melvin. Marami talagang mapapag-usapan pag ikaw ang guest namin. Salamat po sa time ninyo.
Thank you, Attorney Karen. And I'm always happy to be here. And salamat dahil itong issue to. This is really something that people should know.
Yeah, I agree. Salamat po. The discovery of a possible citizenship laundering network is a wake-up call, not just for law enforcement, but for every institution that safeguards our national identity. As authorities move to file charges and clean up the civil registry system, the bigger challenge remains: restoring public trust in the very documents that define who we are as Filipinos. Because beyond fraud, this is about national security and the integrity of our borders. The question now is, how deep does this go, and how fast can government act? Be informed, be insightful of the news. I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno. Always stay at the forefront.